Hello, and welcome to Ancestors and Aunties. This is a podcast for Black women leaders who are looking to prioritize themselves, to stop putting other people's needs first so that they can protect their peace without feeling guilty or feeling like they're all alone. Now, this might be you. This might be you if you are out there showing up strong on the outside, but you're secretly struggling on the inside. I want you to know that these conversations are for you. Hello there. I'm your host, Kim Monique Johnson, and I refer to myself as a recovering HR executive turned energy leadership coach. And in these conversations, we reflect on the teachings of our ancestors, known or unknown, the teachings and the everyday brilliance of our aunties and our elders. So again, I invite you to sit back and listen to this conversation, but no, it's more than a conversation. For you, I hope that it's a return to yourself, a remembering, a sort of reclaiming of the holy, joyful art of being a Black woman. And tonight, I am thrilled to be joined by a beautiful Black woman, Jori O'Neale. Jori is a TEDx speaker, a best-selling author. She's a publishing authority partner who helps leaders and visionaries and faith-driven professionals turn their lived experiences into transformative, purpose-aligned books that change lives. Wow. Hello, Jori.
Hello, this is an honor to be here. So happy, so happy.
Thank you. I'm so honored. So just real talk, how are you arriving on this Tuesday evening?
I think everything is aligned because I would have been rushing here to hop on after taking kids to swim practice and cooking dinner and all the things. And I was blessed with a very calm, quiet day today. So I feel like I'm ready. I'm ready to talk some things. I'm ready to share some stuff.
Yes, drop some jewels. I know that's right. Yes. But again, I wanted to slow down and just honor that, right? That so often we're doing so many things, right? Swim lessons and caring for cooking meals and doing all the things. And I love that you just had an opportunity to have a slower day today. Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. So just tell us a little bit about what your work is like. How are you spending your time as you guide people through your offering?
So initially, this started as a journey to help women empower themselves. And so I initially started with helping women uncover their story, uncover their gifts. And once I started getting into like story excavation and story work, I was seeing all sorts of just breakthroughs women were having, like things were shedding. They were, renouncing old identities and claiming new ones. And I was like, this has to be like captured. Like we have to figure out a way to capture this. And so I'm of the mind that like, I'm not going to ask you to do it unless I do it first. And so I self-published my first book about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that book alone is as scrappy and as stitched together as it was. It began landing me talks. And so at a keynote was the first time that I was approached to then start coaching people on how to do that for themselves. So book writing was like just my way of kind of like a cathartic way of just telling my story and getting my truth out.
Yeah.
And then women's empowerment coaching was over here. And so I never thought, right, to combine them. And so I always tell people, I'm like, I didn't set out to be like a publishing authority partner. Like it stumbled in my lap. And so I think oftentimes the universe gives us breadcrumbs.
Yes.
If we're quiet enough, we can hear where the next leading is taking us. And so over the last 3 years, I've really been intentional about trying to drown out the noise. That's been just resounding. It's been resounding. Like I'm neurodivergent, and I always feel the need to be doing something. And it's part of my MO, right? ADHD, OCD. Like I have to do something. When I do it, I have to create a habit around it. Form this pattern. And so, looking at it as a deficit for quite a long time, I was like, okay, well, I have to overcome these things. So then I started studying like neurolinguistics programming and productivity, just so I could like override my system. And then come to find out, when you start a business, Kim, you actually have to create systems and structures and habits.
Yes. Look at the universe.
Called SOPs. And so what I didn't realize was that God had uniquely created me to create frameworks.
So let me pause you there, because that's so juicy, right? There's so much there. I'm still thinking about, what did it take for you to take that awareness, Jori, of I'm writing to tell my own story, to release some things, right? You mentioned old identities and new ones. What did that require of you to like really accept, I'm shedding an old identity and embracing a new one?
I think language. What I'm learning, even just from being a publisher now, is that language is super important.
Yeah.
And I think the language that I was using was piss poor prior.
Piss poor prior.
Yeah, it was. It was very, very not good.
Huh?
It was entrenched in deficit, scarcity, lack, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the first things I needed to do was to get help. And so I worked with a success coach at my job. So I'm a former educator, and I worked with a success coach.
Yep.
And she started introducing me to all these different practices and all these different words and language. And I was like, okay, I know English, but
right.
when you say like, find my bliss, what does that mean? Like, would you tell me to like, what lights me up? What are you asking? Like, she would use these words and phrases. And I'm like, I don't, what do you, this is a foreign language. Because people in my circle, they didn't talk like that.
Right.
And
right.
so first thing,
the old identity, right? Old connections to ways in which people are speaking, and hearing new connections to new language, right, was a shift.
So the first shift was I got help. The second shift was I had to start hanging out in new watering holes.
Yeah.
And I started noticing like the way people spoke in their language.
Yeah.
And what they spoke about.
Yeah.
You know, like the percentage of the time that I was with people, most of the time was complaining.
Check that out.
And I'm like, well,
yeah,
there's nothing good in your life. You can't find one good thing to talk about. Like we've been talking for about 2 hours, and you found everything under the sun to complain about. Like what? That's a gift.
Yeah. You know, there are people just wake up mad, wake up complaining, right?
So I had to find a different group, a different crew, and that took a while because you don't know what you don't know. So it was like, I didn't know that I was created to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know that. I didn't know entrepreneurs hung out. So I joined one group coaching program after another, after a course, after another mastermind, all over the sun. And so I think when I joined Rachel Rogers' mastermind at the beginning of the year, I started seeing people who, some of them were struggling just like me, trying to figure it out.
Right.
Don't know what's first, what's second, what's third. But there was a difference in the way that they spoke. There's a difference in the percentage of the things that they spoke about. A lot of the things they spoke about were positive. They were forward thinking. They were based in hope. Very, very few conversations were fear based or, you know, drudging up past or even just negative. Like people usually didn't put one another down. And I was like, this is odd. I'm not used to this.
This ain't what I'm used to. Yeah.
Because, you know, as an educator, I feel like sometimes the way that the system works, it's like in order to create culture, they first have to create compliance.
Yeah, hold that thought, right? That's amazing, right? So all of you educators out there and HR professionals like myself, you know, being one of them, right? That word compliance, that word that sort of boxes us into doing things in a particular way, not necessarily for the greater good, right? But because of this so-called mitigation against risk and harm, and again, fear-based. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. That's amazing. And so what I'm hearing you say, Jori, is that being around people, like your ears are now become trained to listen for language in a different way, right? What can affirming language sound like?
And so now I joined Rachel Rogers Mastermind after I had already started kind of coaching women through this process.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a framework that I use called Talk Your Book.
Yes.
And this framework, it literally just takes the language and the words that you've already used
Mm-hmm.
to describe your situation, and it's reframing.
Mm-hmm.
It reframes everything about you. And I start off with the end in mind. So
Yeah.
I'm still using like backwards design. Like all the things that I learned as an educator, I'm still putting them into practice, right?
Yes, yes.
Because that master's degree, you gonna be used, boy. You gonna be used.
Make it
And
do what
so,
it do.
I mean, you paid for, so
You
we
paid for
gonna use you.
Yes.
But designing first, like, what are the outcomes? What do you want the transformation to be? The person who's reading this book, what do you want your transformation to be?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want this book to change you? And then
Yeah.
what do you want it to do for you? What opportunities do you want it to open up? Revenue streams, right?
Yeah.
Coaching, consulting, speaking, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then so after we frame that, I then just ask questions, interview similar to this.
Yes.
And when I reframe the way that they're speaking about their past and the way that they spoke about their future,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, I said that? Yes, you did. Yes, you said all of that.
Yeah.
They're like, wow. And so helping people see the through line, like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to change what happened to you. You just have to find the gold in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we want to display. We want to display the gold. Yes, all of the hard knocks, they taught you, they helped you become this person that you are now.
Yeah.
But people don't want to read about sad and bad and trauma and drama. And like, if that's the type of book they want, then yeah.
Huh?
But if you're positioning yourself as hope,
Yeah.
as forward thinking, as future, as overcoming, as resilience, perseverance, like,
Right.
they need to see those things. And so helping people see like how far they've come, helping unlock like some of those. I think sometimes we have mental blocks, and oftentimes like this is a phrase people always used to say, and I didn't like it, but now I say it almost all the time. Like, you can't see the label from the inside of the bottle.
Now, I never heard that one. You can't see the label from the inside of the bottle. Okay, build on that.
So how we see ourselves is absolutely opposite most of the time than how people see us, how
Yes.
people view us.
Yes.
And so the goal is, I'm going to start with the label. We're going to build this beautiful label. And after we build this beautiful label, I'm going to help you see that the stuff on the inside actually matches the stuff on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that disconnect is I think that misalignment is why people usually stay stuck.
There's not
Because
there's not a match,
version
right?
of you. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
version of them on the inside that doesn't match the version that they're projecting outside. Or
Right.
vice versa.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They out here,
That's-
stunting and
that's
faking the
powerful.
funk.
That's it. That's powerful. That's so powerful. And it's so common because a lot of it comes from, I believe, when we prioritize other people's needs, other situations, the caretaking,
100%.
right? And sometimes people are like, well, I take care of myself. Like I say no. Okay, you may say no, but do you say no clearly? Do people know you're saying no, right? Do you say it without guilt? Or do you say no and then like ruminate like, oh, maybe I should actually, or, right? So I love this idea of really checking in with yourself to know, are the things that you're doing aligned with how you really want to be? And so you're creating the label. Yeah.
And so during the time I was working with a success coach, she revealed the label.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw the label and she asked me a question, she said, I want you to write down your values and I want you to write down the things that are non-negotiables for you to be your best self. What does your best self look like? And I wrote them down. I was like, oh, it's easy. Freedom. I like freedom.
Yeah.
I like autonomy.
Yes.
And I like to create. Like, those are my three anchors. Like, I love those three.
Yes.
And then she said, are those three present in your current job?
Yeah, to lean back on that one. Like, why are you gonna ask me that, success coach?
And I looked and I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah. Let me ask you another question, because here's what's so important for folks who are listening. Like, when we get these powerful questions that make us that give us a visceral response. Like, do you remember, Jori? What did you feel in your body when that mic drop happened?
I felt a lot of things. Initially, I felt shock. I felt confusion. Then I felt clarity. Then I felt anger. Then I felt shame.
Wow.
And then I felt permission.
Ooh.
So I went through a myriad of emotions with that one question, because I'm a visual learner. And so she had me draw on the paper my 3 values, and then what does that mean? What does that look like? So I'm seeing on this paper these 3 things that light me up, these 3 things that anchor everything else that I want to be a part of me.
Right.
And I'm seeing on this paper that none of them exist currently at that time in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. So powerful.
It was just like, like, how do we change this? What like, we gotta fix this. This is not, we don't have any of them. Like, this is that one. We got nothing.
Where's my freedom? Where's my autonomy? Where's my creativity? Come on, bring it. Yeah. Yeah. And so going through that cycle of like the shock and the confusion, right? Like, so that's so key too, right, Jori? Because when we feel and release those emotions, we can get to the clarity, right? We can get to the permission. Would you say?
Yeah, I think had she asked me that question probably a year prior, even maybe 6 months prior, I probably would have stayed in the shame.
Yeah, so what helped you get your permission?
She had created a safe space. She had created a safe space for me. So when she would ask me questions, I would feel no obligation to respond a certain way. I think there was no expectation that she had on me. I spent most of my life as a performer, both on stage and just in my personal life.
Yeah.
So it took me a really long time to figure out who I was. And then it took me even longer to be able to express that to others and feel safe when I did so. Because a few times that I had, it wasn't a pleasant experience on the receiving end. And so, you're like, oh, well, I didn't like that. I'm not doing that again. Yeah.
One and done, huh? Yeah.
Try something else.
Right.
And so she created that space for me, and after that was created, when questions like that came, because the next question, I think, is probably the only reason that I'm able to speak to you today from the space that I'm in. And that question was, 12 years from now, what's going to be different? I mean, she said 12 months from now, what's going to be different?
Right. Yeah. And how was that? What made that question so powerful for you?
I had been contemplating the idea of leaving my job probably maybe like 2 years prior. And, putting out resumes, pulling out fillers, trying to figure out like, where else am I supposed to be? I started like, actually creating a formula and a framework around helping people write their books. Like I started a small coaching program with, women writers. And I was like, okay, let me build this business on the side to the point where I can leave my job.
Right.
But we weren't there yet. We weren't there yet. And so this was December 2023. And I was like, all right, I have 12 months now. I have to make a plan.
Yeah. That structure, that plan kicked in to give you some some guardrails of what you need.
Because now I feel like I had a due date. Like there was before, I'm contemplating leaving. I'm contemplating making this change. I'm thinking about. There was no dates.
No dates. Yeah. And I feel you, right? Because, for folks who have ADHD, I do understand that there needs to be an urgency. There needs to be something, right, that you're moving toward with a timeline, some structure there. Yeah. And some urgency. Yeah.
So 12 months may not sound urgent to people, but when you think about being in a career for 15 years.
Yeah. You're
like, I've sucked this up for 15. We can figure out how to just suck it up one more. We can figure it out. But yeah, the plan was to replace my income. and to leave in 12 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so only one of those two things happened in 12 months.
Don't leave the people hanging.
So that was December 2023. And I said, in 12 months from now, I won't be working here.
Okay.
And so I had already made a plan to put in my letter of resignation December 2024.
Yeah.
So December 2024, I put in my 30 days notice.
30 days.
Yeah, it's an education system, so
yeah,
if you don't want no backlash, you got to give them 30 days.
Okay. All right.
So I left at the end of the first semester.
Mm-hmm.
And the last 2 weeks, I trained my replacement because I'm nice like that.
Yeah, I imagine that aligns with, your values. Freedom, creativity, and autonomy, right? So you were able to leave, on your own accord, right? Even though you gave the 30 days as required, you did it in a way that was meaningful to you, I imagine.
For sure. And so, like I said, I wanted to replace my income and I wanted to leave that job. And the only thing I was able to accomplish in those 12 months was leaving that job. I had not replaced my income. My income as a teacher in New York was pretty decent.
Yeah.
6 figures, right? So, you leave in 6 figure stability for, I think at the time I was making maybe $1,800 a month from my writing business.
Yeah.
12 months from then.
Yeah.
So 2024, December, put in my letter of resignation. Now, December 2025, I've now replaced my full-time income.
Holla.
So it took another year.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? It took another year, right? And you stayed the course. What helped you stay the course after that first year of not getting the result that you originally wanted?
When February hit, I reached out to someone who I was like, well, they've done it. I want to do what they've done. And so the advice that they gave me was find a community that's writing, go to writers' conferences, pitch, your book to publishers. And I was like, all right, find some help.
Right.
So I found someone to kind of mentor me. And after that, went to my first writers' conference, pitched my book to a couple publishers, got a deal. Got a bestseller September 2024.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Got another deal. And that book launched February of this year, 2025. So I'm now a 2-time bestselling author. Okay. So I was like, all right, when people give me instructions, I follow them. This was true with the success coach. This was true with the writing, mentor I had.
Yes.
Then, enter stage left Rachel Rogers. And I was like, all right, I have a track record of listening to women when they tell me to do things to achieve a certain outcome.
Yes.
I've been doing this for the last 2 years. So if I want to replace my income at least, maybe I should listen to this lady.
Listen to the wisdom.
Listen to her.
The wisdom,
and do what she says.
Yeah. And that's so cool, right?
Yeah, but I had to prove to myself that one, I could trust me.
Not her, not someone else. Trust yourself.
Because I think any counsel, any advice, even, from our ancestors or aunties, you have to trust yourself in terms of how do you implement this for you? Yeah. Right. There's no one size fits all with anything. Unless it's Spanx. God bless Spanx. I don't even know how they do that, but that's great.
For everybody.
It's only one size fits all. But so with wisdom and things that have been passed down, from my aunts, my moms, my grandmother's sisters.
Yes.
I still take to heart a lot of their counsel.
Hold that thought. Let's set that up because that's so beautiful, right? To go from trusting yourself to follow the guidance of someone who's done the thing that you want to do, right? And yet you mentioned it's important to trust yourself to know that you can implement that. And that sometimes does connect us back to those ancestors, those aunties who saw things in us or gave us wisdom, right? Like that's all brilliant. So hold that, because I want to do the part that I do in this podcast every episode, and that is a quote from Alice Walker that I'd love for you to respond to with this very theme, right? Of how the ancestors are showing up for us, okay? So Auntie Alice Walker says, to acknowledge our ancestors means we are aware that we did not make ourselves, that the line stretches all the way back, perhaps to God or to gods. We remember them because it is an easy thing to forget that we are not the first to suffer, rebel, fight, love, and die. The grace with which we embrace life, in spite of the pain and the sorrow, is always a measure of what has gone before. Alice Walker.
God bless, Auntie. Oh.
Yes.
So you say you want me to respond to this?
Yes. Yeah. What comes into your spirit as you hear Alice Walker's words?
I think of where my people are from. I think of how my grandmother, born in this country, grew up on a plantation farm. And to say that my grandmother grew up on a plantation farm, like, that's to say that slavery is not that far removed from my people. I think of what she had to endure to go from Blytheville, Arkansas, after, growing up and wanting a better life for herself and for her family, being impregnated at a young age by a fast-talking Native American who was passing for white at the time, to endure being hated by his family because of her black skin, how she suffered at the hand of abuse, of a drunkard. And, she traveled, the Great Migration from the South to the North. And along the way, she just had a lot of kids and ended up in Chicago. And despite everything that should have taken her out, she was able to raise 13 kids and keep them alive and teach them values and show them what they could and shouldn't do. And even as a young child, like, I looked up to my grandma because she was small, but she was powerful, and she demanded and commanded just attention. Like, her influence was felt. Her presence was felt. And there's some things that are caught and some things that are taught. And so without teaching me, she was teaching me, how do you command a room? You don't have to be the loudest.
Right.
You don't have to be the prettiest.
That's subjective too, though, right? But yes, go ahead.
I mean, you don't. To command the room?
But I mean, what's considered pretty, right?
Listen, we gonna get in that conversation because there was still a brown paper bag test in my household growing up. So
I feel you.
Yep. So if anybody know what I'm talking about, then you know. If you know, you know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Brown paper bag test. Look it up. Very common down in New Orleans. But yes, so your grandmother was teaching you how to command a room. So say more about that as a TEDx speaker.
I think just seeing the way her and my biological grandfather died of cirrhosis of the liver from his alcohol addiction. She remarried an individual, and he was amazing. He was innovative. He literally, anything that broke, he would fix it. I don't even know how. He never was a carpenter trained, but built front porches and back porches and in caves, and just ran down the block, like raced children, at 60, 70 years old. Like, this guy was just like, he's wild. Like, so just seeing them together, seeing my grandmother with this man who And he was tall. He's like 6'2", 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
She's a small little thing. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
how does that work with these two people? And he's just so outgoing and so like active. And despite how verbose he was, he still respected and gave ear to my grandmother.
You saw that up close.
Yeah.
You experienced it.
She never yelled. She didn't cuss him, didn't fuss at him. But when she spoke, you listened.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who you were.
Yeah.
You could have been one of the dope boys on the block. My grandmama spoke. You listened. And so just seeing that, like, okay, you don't have to be the loudest. You don't have to be the smartest.
Yeah.
But you have to be confident that what you have is worth saying and what you have is worth listening to. And so that's what I mean when I say, like, helping people understand that the label needs to match the contents of the inside of the bottle. And I think my grandmother was a great example of that. Was she perfect? Absolutely not.
No one is.
But those are those lasting impressions that she left on me. And so I think growing up, bringing it back full circle.
Yes.
Part of me identifying the areas that lit me up, the areas that gave me joy. It was like, all right, these three things are things that I don't remember seeing in any of my ancestors or aunties. Or none of them had freedom. None of them had autonomy. None of them had the ability to show their creativity. You know, they were always living according to someone else's expectations.
Yeah.
And that question was like, okay, I have an obligation. Like, I have a duty to do something different, because if I don't, I have two daughters. This is going to just keep being repeated, where I'm living a life that I have to live.
Yeah.
Versus a life that I choose to live, I get to live, I want to live, and that I designed. And so now my daughters are seeing, like, mommy tells us when her days off are. If we have a program at school, she can come because she makes her own schedule. Like, if we want to go on vacation, she just sells more books.
It's in her control. Yeah.
And so that is still, it boggles my mind. Like, being able to set monetary goals based off of my family's needs.
Yeah, that's that autonomy. That's their freedom. That's their creativity. And that's so powerful. I'm sensing into what you shared about your grandmother. I'm still visualizing, right? You described her as a small woman, right? Leaving Arkansas, traveling to the cold Chicago, with raising 13 children, losing a husband, partnering with an extroverted tall man who would be quiet and listen to her. And still, with all of that presence, right, and her own agency, you still see yourself, Jori, as living your life in ways that maybe she didn't have the opportunity to. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I think it's like, I'm going to do it because y'all couldn't.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Like, y'all didn't get this. Y'all didn't get to do this.
Right.
Y'all didn't get to have freedom. Y'all didn't get to write your own ticket. Y'all didn't get to start your own businesses. Like, y'all didn't get to do that. I got you. I'll do it. No problem.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it. Might as well be me.
Yes, that we get to be, like, literally, right? We get to be the dream of our ancestors, right? We get to actually. So let's hold on to that for a moment now, because now I want to flip it a little bit and ask you about, what does that require of you? What does carrying that weight, if you will, what does that require of you?
I fuss with God about this a lot. Because this is not, entrepreneurship, as you know, is not easy. It is not an easy road, and doing it in the way that I am, and putting, God first and family, I get a lot of hate. As much encouragement as see on social media, I get a lot of hate, and hate is silent. Hate is withdrawal. Hate is disdain. Hate is
wow,
avoidance.
mm-hmm,
Hate is isolation.
yeah,
And so, you know, I think I spent maybe most of the summer months just going on a prayer walk, crying to God,
mm,
you know, just asking, like, are you sure?
yeah,
Are you sure?
right,
Are you sure? Like, I understand what you've called me to, but like, are you sure it has to go like this? Like, it can't go no other way? Because,
mm-hmm,
like, I wouldn't mind some homies. I wouldn't mind some friends, but, you know, part of what I have to go through
right,
is going it alone.
mm,
And when I say that because I am easily distracted
mm-hmm,
and I
mm-hmm,
love to have a good time.
mm-hmm,
I'm
mm-hmm.
a social butterfly sometimes, if you can't tell. And so in order for me to stay the course, in order for me to stay focused, like, I kind of have to be alone.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I can be easily just taken off course.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to say that my self-discipline is stellar, but it is not. It is not.
For most of us, right? Because look, if entrepreneurship was easy, as I say, everybody would be doing it, right? And maybe many people do, and yet it takes strength, it takes commitment, it takes being in community, it takes asking for help to stay the course. Yeah. I'm getting this intuitive hit I want to share with you. As you shared, like your grandmother having 13 children, raising 13 children, right?
Well, not biologically. So she had
Okay.
8 by birth. 3 of them passed,
Mm,
and then she married a man who had 8.
got it. Still, that's 13.
That's 13. Yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, right?
Math is still mathing.
Math
Yeah.
is still math, right? And as women caretakers, right? The children become our own. I'm just thinking about this birthing process. I heard someone share this. I don't remember who it was, so I'm sorry I don't have the credit, y'all listening, who it is. But he said, like, when you're going through the birthing process, not everybody gets to be in the room, right? We think about our grandmothers, our ancestors who were given birth in those small little no bathroom cottages, right, on the plantation. It was just a midwife and that's it. My dad tells a story about he remembers when his cousin was born. I was like, oh yeah, thinking it's a cute little story. He's like, yeah, because we were told we had to like run down the block because the elders didn't want us to hear her screaming, right? Because she was giving birth at home with the midwife. And so the idea of being born, oftentimes there aren't many people there, right? Oftentimes it is, of course, challenging and painful and all the things. Not everybody gets to witness that. And this person who shared this is saying that when we go through a rebirth as an adult, whether it's a rebirth of a relationship or leaving a job or starting something new, not everybody gets to witness your rebirth.
Wow. Okay. That's quite an analogy right there. I like it.
Okay, because I was like, uh-oh, I'm talking to the author, the TEDx speaker. Did I reach too far? Did I go too far?
No. You good. You good. I think while you were speaking, I'm a visual learner, so I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
So I've been pregnant 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
And so thinking about who was with me, you know, in the room when, the miscarriages and the successful births, like who was with me? And then I think of like who's with me now? And the doctors changed, the nurses changed, but the 2 constants, then and now,
yes,
have been God and my husband. They are always with me.
How beautiful.
Every birth, every rebirth. When he and I started our business, because we have an entertainment company. It was just he and I. We were like, we have no idea what we're doing. In the middle of COVID, just bought a house, raising 4 kids, and just started a business, entertainment company, and now we can't leave the house. And we pivoted, we got creative, and we started doing like online parties, and I started doing comedy online and start pre-recording shows, and a couple of them got picked up by Roku, so that was cool. But yeah, it was lonely. It was lonely then, and then it's lonely now.
Yeah.
I'm getting kind of used to it. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I'm getting used to just like, all right, where are we going today, God? What's happening? What we doing?
Yeah.
Where am I being led to do, to say, to go, interact with, like, and so opportunities, the TED Talk, that fell in my lap.
Fell in your lap. It was being manifested for you, right? It fell in your lap. It was already being created, right? Like, yeah.
That is how everything has literally transpired this year for me.
Yeah.
I joined Rachel Rodgers the day before I left my job. So my last day of work was January 30th. I signed up on the 20th.
Love it. Love it.
I told you I was only making $1,800 a month.
Yeah.
You know how much Rachel Rodgers costs.
But you got eaten up real quick.
My husband was like, "What you did that for?" Like, how much you got paid? Oh man, okay.
What's the ROI?
I mean, but I sold my car in April. Like it was.
Yeah.
I was like,
you find
I know.
Way. Yeah.
I trust myself. I trust myself. I have instructions. I have a plan.
Yes.
I trust it. I trust it. And so I feel like every opportunity that I had prior with the books and then planning to leave my job, like all of it was an alignment and it was stepping stones. Like, I'm going to train you to trust yourself. I'm going to train you to take instruction. I'm going to, because even like the conferences and stuff, like I had to take off work to go to these conferences. I had to invest in marketing and whatnot to become a bestseller. Like people think like, oh, you got a deal. You became a bestseller. I'm like, do you know what you do? There was some work. Traveling, I had to go on tours to promote the book. Like, airfare, hotel, rental car. Like, it costs money.
Right.
And so I'm like, all right, I invested in myself and it paid off. So here's what I know. If I have a plan, if I have support, if I have a goal, I'll figure out everything else.
There it is.
We're going to figure it out.
You're going to figure it out, right?
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah, and you have. And it's so beautiful how you touched on, right at the beginning, right? Reaching out and receiving help. And then following the guidance that help gives you. Because sometimes we may think we want help, but we may not implement, right? So you implement, you found community, and then even when you look around, as sometimes we do, y'all, we look around as we're making changes, as we're prioritizing ourselves, as we're living up to what our own label is. We may look around and we may feel a little lonely, right? There may not be anyone else in the birthing room, but then there may be one person or your spiritual practice that's always there. You mentioned your husband and your God. How beautiful is that?
When I think about the experiences that I've had just in my entire existence, I always have to like break them down into like sections, because to share all the things, it's like there's no way one human experienced all that. That's not possible. I'm like, but it is, because it happened and I'm still here. So it's very possible. Yeah. But I think, how often do we prevent ourselves from getting to the next level? Because we're too afraid to take that next step. Yeah. And every getting married was scary. Yeah. Just from my past and sexual abuse and family trauma and you know, I went to therapy for 5 years when I realized I liked him. It was like, I like him. Let me go see a shrink. I ain't trying to mess this up. Hold on, man. Like, and so
activated some things. And you took care of that. You took care of what you needed to take care of.
But that next step thing, and I think I love my grandfather for that. He, when I say fearless, I don't think he would see it. He would think it, and he would do it. It could be stupid. It could be smart. It could be dangerous. He would see it. He would think it. He would do it. And there are times where, like, I don't know if you ever felt this, Kim. Like, you're literally like standing on the edge of something.
Yeah. And
you have one of two choices. You can take 2 steps back to safety.
Right.
Or you can step forward and you've no idea. Is it solid? Is it liquid? We don't know what we're doing. We can't. Can we swim? Like, we're not sure.
Yeah, it's called skydiving.
and so I've tried my best over the last 5 years, and every time I get to this edge, I build up my courage to take a step forward.
Beautiful.
I don't know what's on the other side of this. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But then I remind myself, like, what happened the last time we took a step forward? Oh, good stuff. I bet. So.
Yeah. Right. Because I'm hearing that's all been a part of your trusting. You've been building and trusting yourself each time. It's like building a muscle, right? You try something, you step out on faith, you get inspired by your grandparents, right? Yeah, and I wonder how this lands for you, Jori. If you ever felt this way, it's like, that thing that you're looking for, oftentimes it's directly on the other side of that thing that you're afraid of, right? It's right on the other side of that thing.
I would say that is accurate. I didn't know how much I needed, like, a champion. My husband's very calm. He's chill. He cool. He don't talk too much. He just, he a wallflower. And in secret, he is my biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
If I hadn't taken steps to, like, heal me first, I would have missed out on that.
Ashe, yeah. To heal you, to, like you said, when you realized that he was someone special, that you liked him, that was a signal for you to work on you. Wow.
There's one thing I heard, I don't know if it was a preacher, or I'm not sure, it was a therapist. Somebody said it one time. They were like, oh, when you get married, it's never 50-50. Yeah. And I was like, huh. Well, I mean, if he do more, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is it has to be 100 and 100. That's the only way marriage works. That's the only way any relationship works. Both people giving 100%. And I wasn't 100% when I first started catching feelings for him.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that.
Right.
I wasn't going to tell him that. I knew that.
He knew that.
And so, people looked at me crazy. One, I'm in my 20s going to therapy and I'm paying for it out of pocket.
So you've always been someone who's reached for the help that you knew you needed. Well, many times.
I'm from Chicago and I'm in New York currently, and I've been here since I was 18. Without a cousin, an uncle, a brother, a sister. So I've been here alone for 25 years now. So I became super independent, and then I became super dependent. Okay.
Yeah.
We've been the Lone Ranger for long enough.
Yeah.
We need help now. I say, hey, you, human who seems to be somewhat okay mentally. How do you, I go to therapy. You go to therapy? Okay, cool. Then where's the nearest therapist? Like,
yeah.
If I need help and if you, again.
Right.
Where's the help?
I
need the help. How much is you? Ooh, right. That's a lot of money. Okay. I don't know. I don't have a good job, so I don't have insurance yet. So, okay, just tell me how much you are. And at the time I was in the therapy, I had 4 jobs, Kim.
Hustling. Yeah.
Yeah, but that 4th job was to pay for therapy.
Therapy. Word. So that's a word right there. It's like when we recognize we need something, what creativity, right, do we lean into? Do we rely on to get the thing we need? Because it really doesn't have to stop us, right? We find a way.
But that's what when my success coach asked me those questions, and she said, think back to a time when you had these. I thought back to that time when I had the 4 jobs and I was super creative and I had all the time freedom I wanted to in the world. It's just me, single out here living these streets. Little young black Carrie Bradshaw out here, and I had autonomy. Like, who's telling me what to do? Nobody. Nobody. And I think I'm grateful now that even with my autonomy, I subject myself to the influence of others.
Yes.
Because I know I need it.
Yeah. That's so powerful. And I'm thinking about, for everybody listening and watching, and like that invitation, like to go back. I remember working with a client once and she said the same thing. She was like, when I was in my 20s, I was fearless. Like, what happened? She was like, when I was in my 20s, no way would I allow, the Karens at work and, the white Bobs to like get away with saying things to me as a black. No way. I was sassy. I was saucy. Like, when did I like quiet my voice? And we really explored that without judgment, because sometimes that's safety. But I'm sure as you, right, are working with clients in terms of talk your book, this old identity and new identity really comes up, right?
So I consider myself a voice activator.
Voice activator.
I had to uncover who I was. I had to reclaim my voice. And when I did, I made the decision that ain't nobody going to shut me up. I have a lot to say, and I'm going to say it. Matter of fact, I'm going to write it down, and you're going to buy it, and you're going to read it.
And it's going to be eternal. How about that? It's eternal.
How about that?
That's right.
How about that, Jack?
It's like this podcast. It is eternal. It's going down in history and herstory.
That's right.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's so powerful, so beautiful, so many gems. So as we begin to close, like, I would love to hear you just say, like, what's a takeaway? What's a share you have for, the Black woman listening out there?
I think if I could be an example of anything, I would say don't allow your limited beliefs to prevent you from reclaiming your voice. And I love practicals. I have a podcast called 30 Minutes of Power. You need to come up on there.
All right.
Chop it up over there.
Yes, indeed.
But every podcast I give practicals, and they usually come in 3. And so the 3 that I would share today would be go find some help.
Yeah.
Go find some community. And be brave enough to take the next best step.
Yes. You are an author, because that's what that's what you started out with. I see what you did there. I see what you did. You told the story. I was just saying. Did y'all catch that? Okay. She said, I'm going to tell you. Then I'll tell you. And then I'm going to tell you what I just told you. Okay? So
that's a good book. That's all I'm saying. That's a good book.
That's a good book. Get the help you need. Find community. I'm adding a few more gems that you shared, Jori, and that is look around for those who have always been there. Those who are the ones who are allowed to be witnessing your rebirth. Honor those people, honor your God, honor your spirit, honor whoever is with you there in places and spaces where no one else is. And then take the risk, right? Recognize that what you're looking for is often on the other side of that thing that may be making you a little afraid, but take the risk. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. What a gift. And so say one more time, how can people find you, follow you, reach out to you, and even be a part of your services?
I am so boring. JoriO'Neale.com. You can find me on all socials at Jori O'Neale.
Yes.
I don't want to make it difficult for anybody to ever figure out a way to tell their story, to reclaim their voice, and to position themselves in a way that they should be, to finally allow that label and the contents of that bottle to match. So Yeah, Jori O'Neale anywhere. If you want to read some interesting tidbits and thoughts, LinkedIn is where you could find those things.
Yes, we'll drop all that
Frequent,
in the show notes. And
frequent
boring,
happy place.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, LinkedIn, right? Yes, that is not boring at all. It's brilliant to be simple, to be clear, and to offer such a gift for women to find their voice and connect with themselves and know, right, that they can step into how they define themselves, a label that they choose that's in alignment with who they are. Once they are clear with knowing who they are. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This has been Ancestors and Aunties. And if you have heard anything during this conversation that inspired you or maybe inspires someone else, please help the algorithms with a little rhythm, all right? So give the algorithm some rhythm, y'all, and like, subscribe, and share this podcast. Please look for Jori. I'll drop it in the show notes. And if you like support for yourself with coaching and how you can prioritize yourself, how you can go deeper in these conversations, if there's anything that I asked Jori that you're asking yourself, contact me so we can work together to help you protect your peace. Go to innervisionscoaching.com, click book a call, and let's connect. Thank you so much, Jori. I appreciate you. Much love and light to you and your family. And you all out there, create the day, the evening, the life that you need.